Title: Why Some People Can't Handle When Others Are Upset. Your friend seems a little down, and suddenly your entire day feels off. A coworker is stressed about a deadline, and you feel physically uncomfortable until you figure out how to help them. Someone in your family is going through a tough time, and you can't focus on anything else because their unhappiness feels like your emergency. While other people seem able to care about others without absorbing their emotions, you feel like a sponge soaking up everyone else's feelings. You're not being overly dramatic. You're not trying to make everything about you. Your brain just processes other people's emotional states as if they're your own problems to solve. And there are completely normal reasons why some of us experience other people's upset feelings as personal emergencies that require immediate attention. Let's start with what's actually happening when someone around you is upset. Most people feel some empathy and maybe offer support, but then they can return to their own lives and emotions. But your nervous system doesn't have that boundary. When you see someone in distress, your brain treats it like you're the one in distress, flooding you with the same stress chemicals and urgent need to fix the situation. It's like you have emotional radar that's turned up to maximum sensitivity. You notice when people seem off before they've even said anything. You pick up on subtle changes in tone, posture, or energy that others miss completely. Your brain is constantly scanning the emotional environment and alerting you to any signs of distress or unhappiness. And here's something that happens to people who can't handle others being upset. You've probably learned that other people's emotions are somehow your responsibility. Maybe as a kid, you figured out that keeping everyone around you happy meant you felt safer and more secure. So now your brain still operates like everyone else's emotional state is your job to manage. Think about how exhausting this is. You walk into a room and immediately start assessing everyone's mood. You notice your friend seems quiet and spend the next hour trying to figure out what's wrong and how to fix it. You can't relax when someone near you is unhappy because their distress becomes your distress, and you can't feel okay until they feel okay. The problem with being unable to handle others' upset feelings is that it makes every social interaction potentially stressful. You're not just managing your own emotions, you're trying to manage everyone else's too. It's like being responsible for the weather in every room you enter, which is impossible and exhausting. You probably ask, "Are you okay?" a lot, maybe too much. When someone seems even slightly different from their usual self, you need to know what's wrong and how you can help. But sometimes your urgent need to address their feelings makes them feel pressure to be okay for your sake, which is the opposite of what you're trying to achieve. Research shows that people who struggle with others being upset often have what's called emotional fusion. Instead of feeling empathy for someone else's experience, you absorb their experience as if it's happening to you. Their sadness becomes your sadness. Their stress becomes your stress. Their problem becomes your emergency. But here's what's really happening when you can't handle someone else's distress. You're trying to control something that isn't controllable, other people's internal emotional experiences. You think if you can just say the right thing, do the right thing, or fix the right problem, you can make them feel better and therefore make yourself feel better too. And there's this thing where you might avoid people when you know they're going through tough times, not because you don't care, but because being around their pain feels overwhelming. You want to help, but their emotions hit you so hard that you need to protect yourself from the intensity of feeling everything they're feeling. You know that feeling when someone starts crying and you immediately panic a little bit. Your brain goes into fix-it mode, scrambling to find something to say or do that will stop their tears because their tears feel unbearable to witness. But sometimes people just need to cry, and your discomfort with their emotion prevents them from processing it naturally. Here's something interesting about people who can't handle others being upset. You're often incredibly caring, thoughtful, and supportive friends. You notice when people are struggling, and you genuinely want to help. The problem isn't that you care too much. It's that you care in a way that makes their emotions feel like your emergency. Studies reveal that this pattern often starts in childhood, with what's called parentification. Maybe you learned early that your job was to keep the adults around you calm and happy. Maybe you became the family mediator, the one who smoothed over conflicts and managed everyone's feelings. That responsibility followed you into adulthood. Think about how this affects your relationships. People might start hiding their problems from you because they know you'll get upset about them being upset. They learn to put on a happy face around you, not because you ask them to, but because they can sense that their negative emotions create distress for you. The need to fix everyone's emotions often comes from a place of love, but it can accidentally communicate that their feelings aren't acceptable as they are. When you immediately jump into solution mode, you might be inadvertently telling them that their upset state needs to be changed, rather than simply acknowledged and supported. And here's something that makes this harder. You probably take other people's moods personally, even when they have nothing to do with you. If your partner seems quiet, you assume you did something wrong. If your friend seems distant, you wonder what you said. Their internal experiences become evidence about your worth or your relationships. Most people who struggle with others being upset have trouble distinguishing between empathy and absorption. Healthy empathy means understanding how someone feels while maintaining your own emotional equilibrium. Emotional absorption means taking on their feelings as if they're your own, which helps no one and exhausts you. But here's what you're missing: when you can't tolerate others' distress. Sometimes people need to feel their feelings without someone trying to fix them. Sometimes the most helpful thing you can do is simply acknowledge their experience without making it your project to resolve. Your discomfort with their emotions might be preventing them from processing naturally. The weird thing is, other people's positive emotions probably don't affect you the same way. When someone is happy, you feel good about their happiness, but you don't absorb it as if it's your job to maintain their joy. It's specifically negative emotions that trigger your caretaker response and make their internal state feel like your responsibility. Research suggests that learning to tolerate others' distress without immediately trying to fix it is actually more supportive than jumping into solution mode. When you can stay calm while someone else is upset, you become a safe person they can process their emotions with, instead of someone they need to protect from their feelings. You don't need to stop caring about people or become indifferent to their struggles, but you do need to learn the difference between supporting someone and absorbing their emotional experience. Their feelings belong to them, even the uncomfortable ones, and your job is to care about them, not to carry their emotions for them. The goal isn't to become emotionally unavailable or uncaring. It's learning that you can deeply care about someone's well-being without making their emotional state your personal emergency. You can offer support without taking responsibility for fixing feelings that aren't yours to fix. Here's something to try next time someone around you is upset. Instead of immediately jumping into fix-it mode, try simply saying, "That sounds really difficult," or "I'm here if you need anything." Sometimes acknowledging their experience without trying to change it is exactly what they need, and it's much less emotionally draining for you. You deserve to care about people without carrying the weight of their emotions. You deserve to offer support without sacrificing your own emotional equilibrium. And the people you care about deserve to have their feelings acknowledged, rather than immediately treated as problems that need your immediate solution. Are you someone who absorbs other people's emotions, or can you care without taking on their feelings? What do you think makes some of us feel responsible for managing everyone else's emotional state? Let me know, because I suspect there are more emotional sponges out there than we realize. To get more psychology content like this in your feed, please subscribe, hit the like button, and share your experiences with us. You'll be supporting our efforts too. Thanks for watching.